So today I was in kind of a tinkering, dinking around mode, working on a few different projects, taking a break from the playhouse, and I started thinking, how could I build a self-extinguishing Christmas tree contraption? I know they have been created in the past. There was a guy on Shark Tank or anything like that, but I wanted to see if I could do it with just kind of scraps that I had on hand. So let me show you what I've got. So here is the contraption. It is just a quick little metal frame I welded together with scraps from various other projects, and it is meant to have the tree mounted on it or kind of be nestled in the tree. You see here on the bottom side it houses a fire extinguisher and a cable that goes to a pulley and then up to another pulley, and then that pulley is tensioned by a spring that you see is mounted right there. Let me explain a little bit more how this is working. Basically it all starts up here, and I'm calling this the trigger mechanism. You see there's a little carabiner with some tape here. I tried to figure out some sort of substance that would be a heat reactive, essentially a heat reactive trigger, and packing tape was the best thing I could find. It's pretty strong. It held a 5 or 10 pound weight in my garage for a few days. Didn't really sag or anything like that, but when you put a match or any heat up to it, it releases pretty quick. And that is basically hooked to a spring that will eventually pull through this pulley a lever down below that will fire the extinguisher. Let's look at that right now. And here's what the bottom looks like. This cable is the one that comes up from the top. It hits this pulley and then comes up here to this little piece of metal that I just have clamped to the trigger of the fire extinguisher. And when that releases, it pulls this down and the fire extinguisher pushes through this rubber hose into a piece of 1/2 inch electrical conduit that I have running alongside this pole. So I'll kind of show you how it works now. Okay, so I think the concept is pretty well proven. At least in theory, you've seen how it works. I've tested it once with an old half-filled fire extinguisher, and it will push the dry chemical retardant through this pipe. But I just don't know if it's going to do it at a rate that's enough to put out a tree. But anyways, I'm going to give it a shot. One of our local Christmas tree suppliers and a farm around here, they sell Christmas trees, Buckaloo Farms. They are willing to give me a couple of old reject trees to try this out on. So let me go pick those up and then we'll see if it actually works. And if you guys are wondering if I'm being fire safe, I have the fire trailer hooked up to the quad. So hopefully I don't have to use it, but at least it's here just in case. And alright, so tree number 1 is all set up and ready to go. I did make one change to the system just in case the spring gets hung up on a branch. I added a weight right there, just a 2.5 pound weight. But anyway, you can see this is definitely the thin side of the tree. But I put it over here so you could kind of see it all set up. And now I'm going to put some alcohol on it and see if it works.
Can you check and see if it's recording?
The tree was almost completely put out, but not quite. I think the wind was blowing some of the retardant a little bit far away. But basically it worked as I expected. The spring got distorted from the heat, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use that again. But everything else looks good. I think I'm just gonna go round 2 with just the weight. So that definitely wasn't the biggest success of my life. So anyway, I still need a good thumbnail pick, so I'm gonna light this up and see if I can get something interesting. Alright, so I'm going to conclude this with saying it was kind of a marginal success. The first one went off without a hitch. The trigger mechanism worked just as I was thinking it would, but in the end it didn't put out the tree. I am going to blame that a little bit on the wind. The second one did pretty much put out the tree, but as you saw, first off, I forgot to pull the pin to let the mechanism be able to even work, and then once the weight did fall, it just for some reason wasn't putting enough force, so I guess I could have made the weight a little bit heavier. So I don't know, maybe like a 50% win there. I do think that if I would have had a more powerful extinguisher like this big one I keep in my shop, I think that would do wonders, as well as having some sort of refraction device like a plate or something where the dry chemical can go up, hit, and get dispersed. As you saw, a lot of that was shooting way up in the air, and with this windy day, it was just kind of blowing off and not necessarily falling on the tree. So, you know, if I put something up there for it to kind of hit and rain back down on the tree, I think it would be much better. But I don't want to spend any more money on extinguishers, so for now, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a Merry Christmas or whatever you guys celebrate at this time of year. And until, I don't know, maybe the new year, I will see you. Okay, so I think this is just custom for me, losing my train of thought. But I think I was telling you I would see you in the new year, but I will probably have a sunken greenhouse update or something on the shipping container playhouse or tiny house playhouse, whatever I'm calling it, before then. But as always, I thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, and check me out on Instagram. Merry Christmas, and I won't tell you New Year just yet, because hopefully I'll do that on the next video. So, see ya. Sit. Down. Give me tum 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 tum. Oh.